everybody, it's Elisa here. So today's video is a body image Q&A, and I have done more of these Q&As, so I will link them down below in case you missed the other ones. But yeah, you asked me so many awesome questions on Instagram, and I really want to take my time to properly answer your questions. So anyway, let's get straight into the video. So the first question is, how can I stop comparing myself to other people? And I think here my best answer is that we really, when we compare ourselves to other people, maybe we only know, very little about them. Like, we maybe see their life from the outside, but actually we have no idea what's going on in the inside, and also what's going on in their mind. For example, when we see people from their Facebook feeds or from Instagram, like their life appears to be perfect, but actually we have no idea what's really going on with them. And we tend to compare our insides to their outsides, and we compare our worst moments to their best moments, and we have like a very unrealistic view of those people. And again, like, we have no idea what's actually going on with them, and it's just the tip of the iceberg. We don't really see what's really going on underneath the iceberg. And I think our mindset really takes only their best qualities, but we really kind of, like, even subconsciously, like, we don't even think about their worst qualities. We only want to take their best qualities. But if you're doing this, you are almost like dehumanizing them. You are not making them a real person if you just pick and choose what you like, and you kind of refuse to take anything else you don't like about them. So yeah, like, it's very unrealistic. It's very, like, you are living in an illusion if you think like, oh, like, this person is awesome, I like those qualities about them, I wish I would have them. No, if you really want to be like this person, you have to take their positives but also their negatives, because otherwise, like, it's not even a real human being you want to be like. And yeah, and I also have an article on my website I have done about this subject, how to stop comparing yourself to other people, and I will link it to this video and also down below in the description, so you can check out that article. So the next question is, I don't hate my body but want to be more fit to feel better in my body. Is this a bad thing? So here I feel this answer could go in so many different ways, and I really would have to talk to you as a person. Everybody can have like a different mindset about this. Like, some person can ask me the same question, and when I talk with them, I realize that they have very unhealthy and disordered mindset about it. And maybe another person who asked me the same questions, I realize that they have a very healthy and kind of normal mindset about this. So yeah, but what I can say is that like, before you worry about like becoming fit or whatever, like, make sure you have fully recovered from an eating disorder, because the eating disorder can trick you into like, oh, I just want to take care of my body and become fit and strong. But actually it can have like a very disordered mindset underneath. So first, full recovery, and then later, when you have a healthy mindset, you can go into the, I don't know, like intuitive exercise and body movement, so it's not gonna become unhealthy. And one other thing to really focus on and think about is that, like, we have so much brainwashed beliefs about like how our body's appearance is linked to our fitness, or if we are healthy or not. For example, we look a person who maybe in society is deemed as like overweight or whatever, but actually, like, they are very fit and strong. Like, they are like taking care of their body, they are exercising in a healthy way, they are eating in a normal, like, healthy way. But just because they have like a bigger body, like, we automatically think like, oh, they must be so unhealthy and not fit and not strong. But actually we have no idea. And at the same way, when we see a person with a certain body type, maybe even like outside, they look, like healthy or fit or strong, but actually they struggle with an eating disorder, or they are the consistent dieters who really struggle with their, abnormal hunger cues, and also like their mental health is, bad and everything. But from the external, everybody's like applauding them, like, oh my God, like you must be so fit and healthy. So what I mean is that we really have to unbrainwash these like links, that certain body types equal, unhealthy and not fit. And also, if you want to become, fit and strong, it doesn't necessarily mean that your weight is gonna change, your body is gonna change in, I don't know, like in any drastic ways. Your appearance is not gonna change. So I really hope you understand what I mean, to really unbrainwash this belief that your, external appearance equals like if you're fit and strong and healthy, because it really does not. And if your focus, for example, with this question is to change your appearance to appear to become, I don't know, like fit and strong, and your focus is very, external, it can be very disordered mindset. So what I suggest you to focus on is that internal gain, like better mood and feeling fit and strong, not necessarily anything to do with your appearance. And yeah, like enjoying the activity, whatever you want to do, and just feeling healthy and happy, and making sure that the movement or exercise, what you're doing, it really supports your mental health as well. You don't have any disordered mindset, you don't become stressed about the movement or exercise that you are doing. You don't have the mindset of I have to do it, I should do this, and rather have the mindset I enjoy doing this, and also do not have any link that I have to see like appearance change in my body or weight loss or something, because it might not happen at all, but it doesn't mean you're not becoming strong and healthy. So yeah, I really hope you understand what I mean, but this is the answer I would give here. So the next question, why do I grieve my old, smaller eating disorder body, and how to deal with it? So here, for example, when a person has like lost weight in their eating disorder, maybe they had anorexia and now they're gaining weight, and somehow they feel they're grieving their old body. So what would I suggest in this situation? And of course, even this answer, it could go in so many different ways, and a person can have a different reason for this. But one thing is that for your brain to catch up with your physical body's recovery, like your brain needs a lot of time, and your brain, for your brain, it takes longer to accept your body than it's, for example, like for your body to recover physically, because yeah, like very often the mental recovery takes a lot longer time than the physical recovery after an eating disorder. Because I really think like for your brain to be used to seeing your smaller body for, I don't know, many years, maybe even decades, and then suddenly your body's gonna change in quite like short amount of time, like of course it's gonna be like a shock to your brain, like what's gonna happen, and it's gonna trigger like panic, and like something is really wrong, because like your brain or you have kind of get used to seeing your smaller body for so long. So be very gentle with yourself and give your body and your brain actually a lot of time to adjust to this new normal. And even the men in the Minnesota starvation experiment, like they also had this like body dysmorphic symptoms after being starved, and also they were very concerned about their weight gain, and even they didn't feel comfortable with this process, and before they had no body image issues or eating disorders or anything, but just because they had lost weight, they had like hard time coming out of it, and also like mentally they struggled. So it can have like a very like explainable reason. Doesn't mean you're crazy, doesn't mean it's not gonna change. But another thing, for example, when a person has had a smaller body, and maybe, because of the society view on the eating disorder, for example, unless you are not, starved, like looked very sick and ill, you know, very thin, then people don't think you can have an eating disorder. And this is a total, you know, misconception of the society. Like you have to be underweight to have an eating disorder. Like, of course, this is not true. And what many people have maybe realized, and what I have heard from people who recover from anorexia, is that when they gain weight in the recovery, you know, and appear to be normal, you know, physically, then suddenly they don't get as much support anymore. They don't get as much, you know, understanding from people, even maybe from their family. And people think like, oh, like you are recovered now, you should be fine. But actually they're not. So they almost wish that they would be, you know, underweight, so people would understand that they're still very much struggling, especially mentally. For example, another way you can think about this is that maybe when you had a smaller body, maybe somehow it helped you, like somehow it was linked to something good. For example, maybe when you had anorexia, maybe when you were really, you know, in a smaller body, that people saw that, yeah, like you have anorexia, like you need to rest and you need to recover and not do anything else, then maybe they didn't have to, you know, focus on things like work or having like relationships or going after their goals or whatever. And they almost like the illness like saved them from looking kind of the future or the scary life, you know, like being a responsible adult or whatever. And when they start recovery and they start to gain weight, then suddenly, you know, like people expect them to have jobs, and now you can have kids, and now you have to build family, and you have to be like financially like independent, and all of those like things they have to face now in their real life. And it can be very scary though. So almost like they wish they could just go back to their illness, so like they would feel they wouldn't have such a pressure to now be adult. And also people can have their, you know, thin body linked to their identity, or the anorexia self linked to the identity. And very similarly, how my identity was very much linked to the like raw food, and what kind of, you know, disorder or eating disorder I came from. Because like all to do with raw food, it was my job, it was my passion, like this is what I did on a day-to-day basis. My whole belief system was around that, and yeah, like my life was very focused on the like the raw food and eating like healthy and all the orthorexia mindset. So maybe this can be very similar, because even I struggled, because I realized that to fully recover I have to get out of the raw food community. So I completely have to change my views, I have to change my work, I have to change what I do on a day-to-day basis. And I had no idea like who I am without this focus, like with this food focus and the raw food focus. Yeah, so in a sense I had to rediscover my identity, who I am as a person. So maybe this can be another one. Many people can have their anorexia or their thin body linked to their identity. But I had the mindset of like, I cannot go on with this life having an eating disorder. Like this absolutely needs to go. Everything else was secondary. Even my identity was secondary. Like I don't freaking care. I need to recover from an eating disorder, and everything else I will figure out. I will find a way to figure out my identity, who I am. And yeah, so I had this sense of hope, because I saw that recovery is a number one priority. Everything else is kind of secondary, and everything else I will find a way to figure out. Yes, so I took the leap into the recovery path, and I did figure out my identity, like who I am and everything. It took a lot of time, but it's just gonna happen, you know, day by day, one step at a time. So really don't worry about this. Take the leap, start the recovery, and you will figure it out along the way. So the next question, how can I accept my body when family and doctors are telling me to change it? So here, it's very, very, very unfortunate that many people, you know, in our family, doctors, therapists, like even they have this brainwash, the diet brainwash, and also the misconceptions about our weight and like how we eat. Like many people have this diet mentality, and whatever they are telling you, they're just projecting their own beliefs onto you. And if somebody has some kind of beliefs, it doesn't make it into a fact. So just you have to know that many people are talking through their own belief system, their own diet brainwash, their own fat phobia, their own body objectification, their own fears and misconceptions about the body and the food. And just because somebody is giving you their opinion, it doesn't mean that you have to take it. It only hurts you when you take their opinion as the truth. And if you take their opinion as the truth, it means that you still have some form of, diet mentality and those misconceptions and belief inside of you. Otherwise, like, they wouldn't affect you. So what I mean here is that like your family and doctors cannot tell you to do something unless you decide to take their advice and follow it. And if you take their advice as truth, then it means that you have those beliefs inside of you, like the diet brainwash, the diet mentality that agrees with them. So it's not about them, because so many people in this planet are brainwashed by diets. It's about you still having those beliefs. So this is really the one thing to work on, because we cannot change other people around us. Like, it's impossible to think that unless all this planet is gonna be unbrainwashed and everybody's gonna understand what I'm doing and how I'm recovering and how my body's not the problem, how the food is not the problem. Like, if everybody understands that, like, then I can give myself permission to eat and gain weight and recover. Like, it's just not gonna happen. Like, I hope it's gonna happen in like next 100 years, but otherwise, like, you're just gonna continue to have an eating disorder. So you cannot wait for all the society to come to this point that they will agree and understand what you're doing. But you have to become your own parent, your own doctor who can give you advice. And you have to support yourself through this, because if you wait for other people to do it, we will forever keep on waiting, because there are so many people with diet mindset in this world. So you have the full responsibility to give yourself permission to eat and gain weight and never ever diet again. So, and the last question for this video, I was obese before my anorexia and now I have to gain weight. How to cope with the fear of going back to these old struggles? So here I really want to remind you and also everybody that recovery's purpose is not only to make you gain weight. Recovery's purpose is actually to recover you, to recover your body physically and also like mentally to recover you. Because so many people who just gain weight and they feel they just have the anorexia now, but just with the bigger body, like they haven't done enough mindset work. And this is really where the key is. So yeah, but also know that as you recover physically, you're gonna restore your normal metabolism and hunger cues and hormones and everything, so your body is able to go to your own like healthy set point and just function normally. And you're never gonna have binge eating problems, you're not gonna have like massive cravings, you're not gonna be, I don't know, focused and think about food all day. You're gonna have like a healthy relationship with food. And can you see how achieving that is the best for your weight, like whatever the number is gonna be? And if you achieve that, if you achieve full recovery, like you're just gonna be healthy, like physically, no matter the weight, and also mentally, because our health is holistic. Our health is like the physical, having like a normal functioning body regardless of the weight, and also mental, like what's going on in your mind. Also, this is very important for our health. And yeah, as I said, people who just gain weight and they don't do any mental recovery work, yeah, like this is where the key lies. Like you have to do mental recovery work, you have to unbrainwash from diets, you have to develop like a positive, compassionate self-talk, you have to change your thoughts, you have to do a lot of change in your belief system, because this is like absolutely necessary for full recovery. Because just gaining weight is not full recovery. Just, I don't know, like eating enough, like eating to the minimal calorie guidelines, like this is not full recovery. Full recovery is just like the physical recovery. That is absolutely the number one step. but the mental recovery is another huge one, and they really work together. It's not only like one or the other. So physical and mental recovery, and this is how you cope with it. This is how you are able to deal with it. And just know that just because right now, like, you are still recovering, you are in the process, you're still like starting with this, and right now you feel like, I can't possibly ever accept my body, then know that just because right now you feel this way, it doesn't mean it's not gonna change in like half a year or year, when you really put a lot of effort with your physical recovery and mental recovery. And this is where the change begins. Like, you have to apply everything and not only focus on the physical recovery or mental recovery. Yes, so I really feel I'm repeating myself by this point, but I just want to tell you that there is so much hope. There is so much hope and so much you can do for the full eating disorder recovery. And never think that you can't get over this, because everything is like figure outable. Like, you will figure everything out, and what you have to do is just keep on going, keep on moving, never give up, and yeah, and just decide that living with an eating disorder is not even an option. And everything else, you know, all my fears, all my worries, all my questions right now, like, this is, I can figure it out. I will find a way to resolve this. I will find answers to all my questions. Yes, but eating disorder recovery, full recovery, is my top priority. And this is like even non-negotiable. Like, this is what I will go towards, and everything else I can figure out. So yeah, this is the Q&A, and I really hope you got a lot of good answers from this, and a lot of stuff to think about. Yeah, and if you want to know more about recovery, you can also check out my book, Brainwashed, How to Recover from Eating Disorders. And many people have found it helpful. It's very practical. It's kind of step-by-step guidance for eating disorder recovery, physical recovery, mental recovery. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.